If I showed you this scene and asked you to name the Greek island, there's a good chance you would not be able to do so. And honestly, before visiting the Greek island of Hydra ourselves, we would not have been able to either. When most people think of the Greek islands, they think about places like Santorini with its internationally famous and iconic views like this. Or Mykonos with its numerous beaches, windmills, and little Venice shoreline area in Mykonos town. But today we're visiting an island that feels very different from both Santorini or Mykonos, an island with no public cars. Yes, you heard that correctly. An island where donkeys and mules still move supplies. An island that attracts artists, writers, and celebrities long before social media ever existed. And an island that may be one of the easiest and perhaps the most enjoyable of the Greek islands to explore on your own. Hi, we're Dancy and Dan, and on this channel we share real-world travel experience for us adults. In this third video on our ongoing Greek Island Cruise Port series, we're exploring a simple question. When your cruise ship stops at one of these famous Greek islands, do you really need a guided shore excursion? Or can you comfortably explore on your own? So far we've shared with you Santorini, and we've also shared our experience with you on Mykonos. Today, we're going to find out whether Hydra might actually be the easiest and perhaps the most rewarding Greek island to explore independently. And before we begin, one quick note. This very unique Greek island is pronounced Hydra, not Hydra. Like Santorini, cruise ships do not dock directly on Hydra. Passengers arrive by tender boat as you see here. And as our tender boat approached the island, one thing immediately stood out. Within minutes of arriving, we started to understand why so many visitors describe Hydra as one of the most unique cruise ports in all of Greece. One of the first things visitors notice about Hydra is what's missing. Cars, trucks, even bikes. There are virtually no private motorized vehicles on the island. In fact, motorized transportation has been heavily restricted here since the 1950s. Hydra is one of the few inhabited Greek islands where motorized transportation is largely prohibited in order to help preserve the island's historic character and unique atmosphere. Because of the island's narrow pedestrian pathways, bicycles are uncommon. As a result, people get around a lot on foot, by donkey, by mule, by water taxi, or by a small number of specifically authorized utility vehicles. One of the most popular things to do in Hydra is surprisingly simple: walk. And that's exactly what we decided to do without a tour guide. Rather than joining a tour, we set off on the coastal path leading from the Hydra Harbor to the small fishing village of Kamini. We will return later to explore more of Hydra town. But first, let's see what makes this walk one of the island's most popular experiences. A little further past the waterfront, not far at all from the harbor, we pass the Omilos restaurant. Today, Omilos restaurant is one of Hydra's best-known waterfront restaurants. It sits in an area associated with the island's long history of attracting artists, writers, and international visitors. Over the years, visitors who associated with Hydra itself included Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Brigitte Bardot, members of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and other international travelers drawn to the island's relaxed atmosphere. And that surprised me, because when people talk about famous Greek islands today, they often mention Santorini or Mykonos first. But Hydra had its own international following long before many travelers even thought of visiting those places. Continuing towards Kamini, we passed another of the many shoreline restaurants here. This one, the Sunset Restaurant, one of the best-known waterfront dining spots along this walk. This is one of those places where the setting is as big a part of the appeal as the food itself. The sea views, with the tables overlooking the water. And that slower rhythm makes Hydra feel so different from a busy cruise port. A little further down the path, on the other side, we passed this traditional stone windmill. It immediately reminded us of Mykonos, where the windmills are one of the island's most famous sights. But here on Hydra, the windmill felt quieter, less like a major attraction and more like just another piece of the island history tucked into the landscape. As we continued along the coastal path, one thing we kept noticing was the color of the water. The blues here seemed even richer than what we had seen on Santorini or Mykonos. Perhaps it was because of the bright sunshine, the rocky shoreline continuing into the sea, or perhaps it was simply the weather conditions that day. But this stretch of coastline was some of the most beautiful water we saw during our Greek islands cruise. Just after that, we noticed something else: cats. Hydra has cats everywhere, along the waterfront, outside restaurants, on top of stone walls like this one, in shaded corners. They are not the main reason to visit Hydra, obviously, but they are a part of the island's character. And once you start noticing them, you keep on seeing them. Perhaps they are in more visible spots than other Greek islands because, without cars or trucks, there are fewer loud noises to scare them away. As our walk continued, again without a tour guide, we passed the DOUSKOS AVLAKI beach house. The DOUSKOS name is well known here on Hydra, and properties like this show another side of the island. Hydra is not only a day trip port stop destination. Many visitors come here to stay for several days, to slow down, to experience the island after the day visitors leave. Nearby, we also passed the TÉCHNÄ restaurant and social. Opened in 2016 inside a renovated waterfront property, TÉCHNÄ represents a newer side of Hydra. The name is derived from the ancient Greek word for craftsmanship, skill, or art. What I liked was that even the newer places here seem to fit into the island, rather than overwhelm it. Hydra has tourism, clearly, but it does not feel overbuilt in a way some popular destinations can. Again, an impact of the absence of cars and trucks? Perhaps. Perhaps the most famous artistic connection of modern times is that of a young Leonard Cohen. The Canadian singer-songwriter purchased a home here on Hydra in 1960 and spent years living here. Many people believe Hydra played an important role in shaping some of his most influential work. And as we walked through the town, it became easier to understand why artists continue to find inspiration here. There is something about the pace of life on Hydra that encourages people to slow down and pay attention. One of the most interesting places we passed was the PEFKAKI restaurant. The name translates roughly as Little Pine Tree. And this was the spot where the walking path almost seemed to pass right through the restaurant for us. Looking at the menu, it felt more local than polished. The fresh fish, sardines, Greek salad, local wine, ouzo. This was not a giant tourist complex. It felt like the kind of small tavern where the path, the restaurant, and the community had grown together over time. By this point, I started to realize something important about Hydra. The walk to Kamini was not just transportation. The walk was part of the overall island experience. The water, the restaurants we passed, the cats, the stone pathways, the historic buildings, the occasional reminder of Hydra's maritime past. All of it helps to explain why this island felt so different from Santorini and Mykonos. And just before we arrive in Kamini, a quick ask. If you're enjoying this Greek Islands Cruise Port video series, we would really appreciate a quick like to encourage it to be shared with others. It helps other travelers find the video. And if you enjoy this kind of relaxed, real-world travel experiences from the perspective of adults, please consider subscribing to Nancy and Dan Travel the World. Thank you so much for that. After roughly 40 minutes of easy walking from the Hydra port, we arrived at Kamini, and almost immediately the atmosphere changed. The harbor had been active, busy, full of restaurants, visitors, boats coming and going. Kamini felt different, more residential, more connected to everyday life. One of the best-known waterfront restaurants in Kamini is KODYLENIA'S. Its location here overlooks the harbor that makes it difficult to miss. And standing here, watching the boats gently move with the water, it became easy to understand why so many visitors choose to spend part of their day here. Hydra isn't a destination that encourages rushing. It's a destination that encourages slowing down. It began as a small fishing village just west of Hydra town. And while visitors like us regularly walk here from the main harbor, it still feels noticeably tucked away as it is out of sight from the island's busiest areas. Many of the boats here belong to locals, others are used by fishermen, and unlike some waterfront destinations designed primarily for tourism, Kamini still feels like a working community. And when we reached the view you saw at the beginning of this video, to be honest, this was one of our favorite scenes from the entire island. No famous landmark, bucket list attraction, no long line of tourists waiting for a photograph. Just a small harbor, colorful waterfront buildings, local boats, crystal clear water, and a pace of life that felt refreshingly different from many of the places we visited on our Greek island cruise. Eventually, it was time to begin the walk back towards Hydra Harbor. But what we didn't realize at the time was that one of the most interesting discoveries of the day still lay ahead. Because once we returned to Hydra town and began exploring beyond the waterfront, we started seeing a very different side of the island. One of the first things we noticed after returning was the contrast. Alongside traditional fishing boats and small local vessels were luxury yachts like this one worth millions of dollars, and somehow it all seemed perfectly normal. Hydra attracts visitors from around the world. Some arrive by cruise ship, like Nancy and I. Some arrive by ferry. Some arrive on yachts far larger than many homes. Yet despite those differences, the harbor somehow manages to feel surprisingly unpretentious. The restaurants were busy, as you can see. People were strolling along the waterfront. Water taxis moved through the harbor. And the town seemed to be operating at exactly the pace it wanted. Not rushed or frantic, just comfortable. At this point, we decided to do something many visitors never do. We left the waterfront behind and started walking deeper into Hydra town. The further we walked away from the harbor, the less Hydra felt like a tourist destination, and the more it felt like a community. Looking above the rooftops, one landmark seemed to appear again and again: the bell tower of Hydra's cathedral. Officially known as the Cathedral of the Dormition of the Virgin Mary, it is one of the island's most recognizable landmarks. For centuries, this area has been at the heart of life on Hydra. Today, it remains an important gathering place for both residents and visitors. A little farther along, we pass grocery stores, ATMs, and local businesses. This might not sound particularly exciting, but for us, it was amongst the most interesting parts of the day. Because these aren't attractions. They exist because people actually live here. Remember, everything sold in these stores has to arrive by boat. And then from there, it often continues its journey by handcart, mule, or donkey. It is a reminder that life on Hydra still operates differently from almost everywhere else we visited. Eventually, we reached one of Hydra's quieter corners, a shaded municipal garden filled with mature trees and monuments honoring people connected to the island's history and culture. After spending much of the day walking along sunlit waterfront paths, the shade was a welcome change. But this small garden also revealed another side of Hydra's identity. And then we encountered another reminder of what makes Hydra so unique: a working mule. Not a tourist attraction, not part of a demonstration, simply everyday life. Because with virtually no private motorized vehicles on the island, animals continue to play a practical and important role in moving supplies through the narrow streets. It's one thing to read about that before arriving. It's another thing entirely to see it in person. By now, we were beginning to understand why Hydra had made such a strong impression on us. It wasn't because of a single landmark, a world-famous viewpoint, or a particular attraction. It was because this Greek island still feels authentic. The harbor, local businesses, the artists, history, people who live here, together they create an experience that feels very different from many destinations built primarily around tourism. So after spending the day exploring Hydra, let's return to the question we asked at the beginning of this video. Is a guided tour needed here? For most cruise passengers, our answer would be no. Hydra is one of the easiest Greek islands we visited to explore independently. The harbor is compact, the walking paths are straightforward, and many of the best experiences come simply from wandering at your own pace. Santorini impressed us with its scenery, Mykonos with its energy. Hydra impressed us because it felt authentic. Each Greek island offers something different, but Hydra may have surprised us the most because the attraction is the island itself. The harbor, the walk to Kamini, the waterfront restaurants, the cats, the mules, the artists, and the feeling that you've discovered a place that remains true to itself. If you enjoyed this video, please remember, do give it a thumbs up. It helps us a lot. And subscribe if you'd like to join us on future travel adventures for us adults. And if you're planning a Greek Islands cruise, be sure to check out our videos from Mykonos and Athens. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Until next time, safe travels.